Hi everybody, it's Amber and I'm back to do a recap video for my craft fair series. So as most of you know, my craft fair was on this last Saturday, November 4th, and it was a great success. We did so well, my mom and my two sisters and myself, and also my aunt. I did really well, the best I've ever done at any craft fair. So I wanted to kind of go over what sold well, what didn't really sell that well, and a couple of things, little tiny mistakes that I've learned from and that I won't make at my next craft fair. Just kind of little things because I've done these for quite a few years and I learn as I go. So I just wanted to kind of share my experience with you with the items that I made in this year's craft fair series. And just keep in mind that every single craft fair is different. And what sold at my craft fair may not sell at yours. And some of the things that didn't sell at my craft fair might sell at yours. So it just depends. So just keep that in mind. Thank you so much for watching and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go in order, and I'm going to go from the very first craft fair idea I had for 2017, and that is the card and envelope sets. These sold very well, and I kind of knew they would because they were dollar items, and I sold quite a few of them. I was kind of worried at first because they were going a little bit slow in the beginning, but you know, after a few hours of the craft fair being open, I started to sell a lot of them. Okay, so number 2 next is the gift tag packs that I made out of my scraps. You guys, I was so in love with this project and so excited about it, and these were one of my worst sellers at my craft fair. And this is one of the mistakes that I was talking about. I had these kind of bunched too close and too crammed into one round basket instead of having them, you know, in the front, kind of displayed loosely so people could flip through them. And I think that really hurt me in sales on those, but I only sold, I think, 1 or 2 packs of those tags. So I'm not going to give up on them. I still think it's a really cute idea, and if people really knew what they were and what they were getting, they would buy them. So I think I'm going to try to display them better next time. Okay, third item is the Notepad stacks, and this was one of my absolute favorite items that I made this year, and I'm still super proud of it, you guys. These are another item that I put in a basket, and they really were they were drowning in the basket, and they weren't out in the open. So at first, I didn't sell hardly any of these until like the last 2 hours. I sold quite a few in the last couple of hours, but I think it was all in the display. So I need to really rethink how I display those. They were in this big pink basket, and it just kind of drowned them out, and they weren't that noticeable on my table. So where I did sell, you know, a few at the end, I didn't do very well the entire craft fair with those Notepad stacks. Okay, the next item are the cute Matchbook notes, and you guys, these sold amazingly well. They went so good, and my sister Bree made these, as you know, so she did excellent. We had them displayed really nicely on the table. They were right out front, and they just sold so well. So definitely a keeper, and we will be making them again next year. Next item are my double pocket tea favors, and this is another item that sold extremely well. The ladies from the church that came to the craft fair, they were going crazy over these things. They just loved them and saying how they were going to send them to their daughter-in-laws and to their little friends at the church. So they sold really well. I sold quite a few of those. Next are my DIY Trendy journals, and these were amazing sellers. I was so surprised, but at the same time, I was so thankful because these were probably the most difficult item that I made this year. They were such a labor of love, but I enjoyed making them, and I really loved doing them. And so I was so thankful that they sold so well. I sold quite a few of them. So I loved wrapping them up and giving them in a nice little bag so people could give them away as Christmas gifts. And of course I included the bookmarks. So I was super pleased that they sold so well. So this one kind of breaks my heart, you guys. My sister Ginger had these on her table and they were kind of slow. The sales were slow on these. And I just don't think that the people that visited her booth, because her booth was full of hair bows and cutesy things for like little girls, and I don't think the cereal box notebooks and things like that really were appealing to that age of, you know, people that were attracted to her booth. I think that next time we're going to definitely put them on my paper crafting booth, because the people that visited my booth love stationery and journals and things like that, and I think they would have sold so much better. Even though our booths were next to each other, we just kind of had a different customer base. So definitely, if we do another craft fair this year, which I'm going to talk about at the end of this video, by the way, I definitely going to recommend that she puts them on my table and, you know, puts them in more with the stationery and paper crafts. Okay, so on to the next item. And this one, girl, these were popular. Oh my goodness. Brie made so many of these, and I think she has like 3 left. Seriously, she sold almost completely out, and the people at our craft fair were going nuts over her little Christmas chapstick holders. It was amazing, you guys. I was so happy to see them sell so well, and I seriously think everybody who came to the booth and bought something at least bought one of those chapstick holders. So it was an awesome seller, and we totally recommend that you make these. For the mini journal bundles, and this one kind of makes me sad too, you guys. This was one of my most favorite things to make in the entire craft fair series. Definitely one of my favorites, and these just did not sell good. And I think the reason is because people really didn't know what they were for. They're kind of like mini art journals. I didn't have time, but I definitely need to have like a sample out showing them what they could have done with these cute little journals. Next time I'm going to definitely do that, and hopefully they'll sell better. But I don't mind, because these are going to become some really adorable and fun happy mail for me to send out to my pen pals. On to the pencils and notepad sets. I'm very pleased to report that these sold very well. So these are definitely a keeper, and I will be making them again next year. But yes, these were a great seller at my craft fair. Next are the pumpkin spice hot cocoa pockets, and these actually sold very well. I almost completely sold out, and I was a little worried because I thought, you know, maybe they wouldn't sell because they're fall related and people were there more for Christmas things, but I was completely wrong, and they really did well. So I was very pleased with that. I'm so excited because my gratitude journals really did well. I only made a few, so I'm not going to call these a top seller, but I actually sold several. I only have a couple left, and people really loved these. They're coming up, you know, flipping through them, and they just really seem to love the gratitude journals. So I'm so happy with how they sold, and I'm really excited to make some for next year as well. Next are my Shabby Christmas journals, and I was super pleased because these ended up selling really great. I do have a couple left, but I'm just going to send those to some pen pals for Happy Mail. I had a feeling that the Twix holiday goodies would do great, and I was right. People loved the Twix idea and the covered, you know, in the plaid paper with the Christmas look to it. They just absolutely love these, and I almost completely sold out of them. So these are definitely a keeper. Next are the Christmas tags, and these tags are so beautiful. Brie made them, and they're just packaged so lovely. But unfortunately, these just did not sell, and I think it's 100% the way we had them displayed. We kind of had them crammed in the small bin, so I think that was the issue. So we kind of have some more ideas on how we can display them and kind of market them different, so we're definitely going to work on that one for next year. Next are the Christmas recipe keepers, and I was so pleased with how these sold. These were my most expensive item at $6 a piece, and I was so happy because the shoppers really, really loved these, and I sold quite a few of them. I'm so happy with it because I was worried they wouldn't sell because of the price, but I'm very, very pleased with how they did sell, and I'm definitely going to make them again next year. So now for the Ghirardelli pockets, I call them the holiday chocolate favors, and these were so popular. Everybody loved them. They were just going nuts over these. And Bree does have a few left, but she made so many. So we were very happy at how these sold. I'm so excited about these, you guys. The Christmas planners. These were such a great seller, and I could not be more happy because these were one of my absolute favorite items to make for the craft fair series this year. People really love these. They love to look through them and see all the pockets I added, and it just made me so happy. I sold so many of these. I have like just a couple left. So that was probably one of my favorite parts of the craft fair, the fact that these sold so well. Okay, so there's always that one item at the craft fair that just does not do well, and it was these, you guys. The Airhead cute, adorable, wrapped taffy candies. These just did not sell well. I don't know if people couldn't see them or didn't notice them, or maybe they don't know what Airheads are, but these just were not great sellers. I don't even think we sold a single package. I'd have to confirm that with Bree, but we definitely will not be making these again. Okay, so now on to the last two items, which were my absolute best sellers at the craft fair this year. First of all, the hot cocoa pouches. These were my #1 best seller. I absolutely sold out. I wish I would have made more, and they just went over so well. They were very popular and people loved them. I just wish I would have had more because people wanted more. So excellent, excellent sellers. And last are my Hershey Nugget Packs. These were my second best seller, and I only say that because I didn't completely sell out of these. However, I did make the most money off of these Hershey Nugget Packs. They're so fun to make. I really recommend that you do them. You won't regret it. And these were an absolute great seller. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye.